co-main event time. To get in on the action, scan the QR code on the screen for this lightweight matchup. Your favorite, the LFA mainstay, Richie Miranda, comes in at -180. The comeback on Keegan Agnew, the violent hippie, is +150. Let's go back inside the LFA octagon. Here's Mike Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, now making his way to the octagon, Richie Miranda.
Following a quick win in October, California's Richie Miranda goes for his second win in a row. Scored that victory over Darren Chapman at LFA 169 in just 1 and 39 seconds. And that came 6 months after suffering his first professional loss. He is Tapology's number 10 ranked a lightweight in California. Comes in with an 85% finishing rate, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. Making his 6th LFA appearance, comes in with a 4-1 record. Training out of the Den Training Center, there is Ben Jones. Expect a big slap before Richie Miranda enters into the octagon.
Yeah, man, maybe it's that big slap that creates these fast starts in his fights. You know, when Richie Miranda fights, he loves to come out hot, and it's calculated. It's not like he comes out reckless. It's calculated chaos. He brings a ton of pressure to the octagon, and he's very efficient with his takedowns. You never really see him overexert himself, but he's so good from all positions. But he does his best work when he starts to blend in the wrestling, and he's got very, very good catches. He's got a wide variety of attacks on the mat, but I just love this. Look at the heavy pressure approach. He always comes in with the hooks, sets you up to create these opportunities where he can drop down for these double leg takedowns. Does a good job popping his hips and advancing positions. And it's like the sequences like this where he does a good job. If he gets 2 hooks in, he's going to arch his hips, to remove your hips from the equation, where he can land devastating ground and pound. And just a really good job at getting to dominant positions, holding positions, and maximizing those opportunities to finish fights.
Richie Miranda making his 6th appearance inside the LFA octagon.
Now his opponent making his way to the octagon, Keegan Agnew.
Powered by OnlyFans. Agnew is 27 and Miranda 2 years older. The violent hippie is 4 inches taller. Both athletes have 74-inch reach advantage. Reaches. Back inside to Mike Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the LFA 180 co-main event of the evening. Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the LFA lightweight division, brought to you tonight by OnlyFans, where creators earn. And now, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This catch wrestler stands 5'9", weighed in 155 pounds. He holds a professional record, 7 wins, 1 defeat, with 4 wins coming by way of knockout and 2 by way of submission. Representing the Den Training Center, fighting out of Santa Ana, California, here is Richie El Machete Miranda. His opponent across the octagon, fighting out of the red corner, is a freestyle fighter standing 6'1", weight in 155.6 pounds. He holds a professional record, 6 wins, 1 defeat, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout and 2 by way of submission. Representing indie boxing and grappling, fighting out of Greenwood, Indiana, by way of Caldwell County, Kentucky, this is Keegan, the Violent Hippie Agnew. Your referee, Rob Mooney.
All right, gentlemen, we already went over the rules in the back. Protect yourself at all times, obey my instructions at all times. Touch him up, let's fight.
So quickly, Michael, the take. Miranda watched a ton of video on Agnew. Him and Coach Ben Jones break him down. And Agnew says, I don't watch anything of my opponent. I let my coaches deal with the strategy. Which take do you prefer?
You know, I kind of go more the Agnew approach, but like when I first signed for a fight, I always go to my coach's house and we sit down and we just hammer out like 5 hours of film study. We stay up late, we watch a ton of film, and from that I just kind of move forward, maybe revisit watching film again halfway through the camp, but I just don't like to harp on it too much. Speaking of harping on stuff, and here comes Richie Miranda.
I love the insight, though, man. And I'm sure fight fans appreciate it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure they appreciate Agnew's mushroom shorts.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Can you guess which one's Agnew's brother if you look in the corner? I bet you.
Oh, the violent hippie.
Uh-oh.
What a great
Look at this. He's locking on an inverted triangle from the single leg. That's actually a dangerous catch. It's something I catch a lot of people with in the gym, is that triangle from the single leg position. This is dangerous, Ron. This has to be taken very seriously.
Oh, wow.
Agnew wise to it,
yes.
trying to elevate himself.
But not out of it.
Not out of it at all. What he's got to try to do is he's got to try to step over the leg. It's going to be really hard to untangle the leg with his hands, so he should take his right foot while he's got Richie on his right hip and try to pry it apart with his foot. But Richie just is that patented pressure right from the opening bell. He just gets right in your face. He throws big punches. It creates this type
finishes.
And he creates this type of chaos that he just excels in. This is where he shines, is in these chaotic fights.
Trained with the UFC's Jalen Turner for this fight at the Den.
And look at Agnew going right back into the fire. I mean, you have to. It's like a lack of respect, which that's fine. Sometimes you got to disrespect the strengths of someone's game to beat him in that part of a fight, but that's just dangerous when you're going against these catch wrestling type fighters, man. They can catch subs from very unconventional positions that you're not used to.
And so Keegan Agnew back up on his feet, looking to take the back of Miranda.
And Miranda taking that right arm, trying to elbow scrape inside. When we call it an elbow scrape, it's when your opponent has their hands locked around your waist. You take your elbow and you pin it to your side and you scrape it down to wedge it in between the lock. Once you can wedge it in between the lock, you can pummel your way inside and break the grip. So really good job on Richie Miranda to use that elbow scrape to get Agnew off his back and to get into this clinch.
Just past the halfway point of the opening round, this is the co-main event here at LFA number 180. See Ben Jones in the corner, and you can probably hear Ben Jones as well.
Yes, you can hear him a country mile away. Richie just kind of landing short shots. While he's got first round finishes to his name, you know, it takes me back to like the Devin Dixon fight where he kind of threw away around sometimes. Sometimes he'll kind of throw away around, let his opponents kind of overexert himself, and then he'll start to gain momentum as the fight goes longer. You know, Ben Jones spoke to the due diligence that this kid pays in the gym. He doesn't miss a practice. He's always on time. He's always good with the diet. He never has to really harp on him about anything. He's a constant professional. Really takes his game very seriously. So in a 3-round fight, sometimes you'd be worried if your fighter throws away a round, but the due diligence of the gym pays off in these types of fights because he can definitely get it going if he loses this round and has to take over for the next 2.
Yeah, Ben Jones said he's one of the most disciplined fighters he's ever coached, and he believes it comes from that college wrestling background of Richie Miranda, former wrestler at the University of Nebraska, Kearney, Kamaru Usman, and UFC vet Rafion Stotts also wrestled there.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Thank you. Every so often I can.
You know, but I like the use of Jalen Turner for this camp. Because, I mean, Jalen's good. let's just say it how it is, man. Jalen Turner is damn good at fighting.
The reason they call him the tarantula.
Yeah,
too.
he's big, he's long. This is no disrespect to Keegan Agnew. This kid's here for a reason. He's world class. But if Jalen can do anything Keegan does, in some instances, he can do some of those things better. So that's as good of a look as you're going to get for the puzzle that Keegan Agnew brings to the octagon. The one thing Agnew has that Jalen Turner doesn't, though, he's got a lot more funk to him. He's got a lot of things that are hard to train for. He can fight in these funky positions, and we saw it in that sequence when he was fighting off that inverted triangle.
Right.
He was able to still stay offensive while having to defend the takedown. He defended the takedown and was able to still create offense from these positions. And to me, he definitely banked round 1.
Looking at the stats, a very even first round. When you look at the strikes thrown and landed, Agnew landing 72% of his strikes, Miranda 73%. Miranda did throw 8 more strikes than Agnew.
There's a contact lens right there. I don't know whose it is. You got
3 deep breaths, 3 deep breaths, 3 deep breaths. Put the pressure on this dude, but keep range. And hey, I think inside he keeps ducking his head. That 60 or 50 is gonna land. Make it 25. Like 12, 50, right? But see it first, okay? Watch those stupid pressure.
Google Translate. Tell me what Ben Jones meant by everything he said.
Never. That code is tough to break, man.
Maybe I'll catch him at the hotel bar afterwards.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm trying to crack the code here, man. What were you saying to your fighter?
And now Keegan Agnew comes out, attacks that lead leg, and pops Miranda a couple of jabs.
And I think that the big message was fight him at distance now. And you can see Richie landed some really nice shots there. Gets a takedown of his own. Now we're in Richie Miranda territory. This is where he shines when he can play punch, wrestle, choke. And he's gone through the first 2 parts of that sequence. And now this is where you're going to see him try to advance the position to try to latch onto one of those fight-ending submissions.
And those big strikes from Miranda has opened up a cut. Can't see where, but I do see the blood trickling onto the canvas.
He's high, he's high, he's high.
I think the 25, when Ben Jones said something about a 25, I think it involved the lead uppercut. That was a really nice sequence by Richie Miranda.
Definitely.
I think the big message was don't go barreling in and close the space. Let's bounce on the outside, move in and out, bounce in and out with that lead uppercut, take the angle, and once you start to land some shots, then you can pursue your takedown. And that worked out brilliantly because he cracked Agnew with some really hard punches. But once Agnew had to acknowledge the punches, the hands came up, the hips became available, and Miranda cashed in on a takedown.
2 submission victories out of his 7 wins for Miranda, and he does have 1 via rear naked choke as he continues to attack the neck of Agnew.
Turn into him.
Ben Jones saying turn into him. Miranda swarming Keegan Agnew now.
Yeah, this is Richie Miranda territory, man. Just using big punches to set up the wrestling, using the wrestling to set up the submissions. But Agnew, savvy to it, and he escapes. Gets Richie back on the fence and gets himself back on the offense.
Just past the 3-minute mark, round number 2. Agnew, a couple of knees to the thigh. Agnew training at the Indie Boxing and Grappling Gym. His brother Gavin in his corner tonight, also a MMA fighter. Just got a win last Friday.
Richie tried to pummel in his right hand, tried to pummel into an underhook, but opened up the window with the left arm for Agnew to get the underhook on that left side. What Richie should do is he should clamp down on that left whizzer and step his back foot behind his right one. You start to elevate that whizzer. We call it a whizzer. That's the overhook. You start to elevate it, and then when they start to respond to the elevation, you clamp down on it and step behind your leg, and it'll spin them onto the fence. A lot of people, most of the time, to reverse the position, they want to jack up an underhook and use that underhook to try to will their way to turning their opponent on the fence. You can use that whizzer to pull it down, and when you pull it down and you step behind the opposite leg on the same side, it will pull your opponents back to the fence.
Great insight from Michael Chiesa, and in that little exchange, Keegan Agnew landed some sneaky elbows that connected flush to Richie Miranda.
Yeah, he's a very crafty fighter, and he's done a good job really fending off what Miranda's so good at, and that is that back control. He's so good with the back control and the wrist rides, and the fact that he's been able to escape those positions to get himself in these types of situations where he can land those sneaky elbows, whether it's on the feet or it's here in this crucifix type position. He's the type of guy that can capitalize on the smallest amount of space to inflict the most amount of damage he could possibly do.
Agnew's brother saying, drop another elbow to the ear, and he listens to him.
He's trying to maybe latch onto a Kimura here. And if I'm Richie, I'm trying to just pop my head out, get to back control, and get him on the fence where he's at right now.
With 45 seconds, this is a big round for Keegan Agnew.
This is a big moment for Miranda, where he really, the beginning of the round was all him, and there's been a momentum shift again in the second round where Agnew's got himself back into this fight, but this takedown from Richie Miranda could be vital in whether this fight gets scored for him or against him in the second round.
Under 20 to go, LFA lightweight division. 2 fighters come in with a combined 13 wins and only 2 losses. Time is winding down in the second frame. Looks like we will go to that third and final round.
Little gamesmanship from the violent hippie, little in-your-face scream there. Something I didn't think he would do.
He said he's all about love and respect.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It is the violent
when you get this guy in a dogfight, then he's screaming in your face. I love it. But here's Miranda with the nice lead uppercut work. Look, he changes stances, boxes his way inside, takes this double leg, pulls him off the fence. And then look here, here's some nice dirty boxing. Boom, slicey elbow on the inside from Keegan Agnew. Then he comes over the top. And the other one was a little more blunt force trauma, but that first left was nice and slicey. Forced Richie Miranda to drop levels on that takedown.
He did not like that.
No, and he actually ate some elbows once he got this fight to the floor from that crucifix type of position that they were in.
Wow. Striking is so close. Both fighters landing 33 strikes. Agnew 33 of 50 and Miranda 33 of 47. Both very accurate as well. Agnew 100% with his elbows thrown and landed. He's 4 for 4. Miranda 3 of 6. And it's Miranda, though, with the 3 minutes and 42 seconds of ground control as we enter into the final round.
Dude, this Keegan Agnew kid is as game as they come. I mean, skill-wise, obviously he's there, but I mean, this kid has some real fighting spirit. I mean, he's able to match Miranda anywhere Miranda takes this fight while still staying true to himself and getting his offense off. Like the crafty elbows on the inside. He's able to control the clinch. He's getting that lead hook going, landing those thudding kicks. Now Miranda's got to be careful because now that Agnew's starting to establish that left low kick while they're in the same stances, he can bring that kick back when he lands it to reload with the lead hook. So Miranda's got to be careful of that.
Still anyone's fight here in the third round. Front kick from Agnew.
This is just very high level mixed martial arts. These guys are fighting at a very high level. That's why you're just not seeing either one of these guys kind of steamroll each other. You're seeing momentum shifts back and forth. You know, these guys, it's a give and take game. Both guys are having their moments, and I really think it's going to come down to the closing moments of this third round. I think whoever wins the last 30 seconds of this round is going to win this fight.
Agnew's strikes are finding the target now.
Richie checking the kicks. Nice go. They go punch for punch there.
Yeah, it was a great exchange. Current LFA lightweight champion Keegan Genrick, I'm sure, keeping an eye on this one. Winner of this fight could put themselves into that title fight conversation.
And you know Richie Miranda wants that rematch so bad.
Absolutely. I was just going to say his only loss, Richie Miranda's, is to the current champ, Genrick.
you know, Richie's doing a better job with the volume striking, but Agnew's doing a good job. It's just like single strikes, or he's really throwing like not more than 1 or 2 strikes in a sequence, but they're all landing, whereas Richie's doing a better job with the volume.
And that was a beautiful body shot, and then he goes upstairs to the head. Keegan Agnew said, I am not scared of this guy. I'm nervous, and you should be, but he felt that he could stand and bang, and he's having some success.
Yeah, he's just, I think that he's got good vision as well, because he doesn't move his head too much, but he's not getting caught by not seeing the punches coming. He's seeing the punches coming. That's like the Diaz brothers. And yeah, I'm going to do a little comparison, but the Diaz brothers don't move their head because they have good vision. They can see the punches coming. Agnew's not closing his eyes when the punches are coming his way. He is dipping his head a little bit and closing his eyes when he's throwing, but he's doing a good job keeping his eyes on the shots.
And Agnew yells, let's go. What a fight as we come up to the 2-minute warning. Final round. And another elbow from Agnew. Feint from Miranda. Miranda backs Agnew off. I'm just Agnew throwing the kicks, the punches, a little bit of everything for the southpaw.
Nice, loading up on the shots is Miranda. That's what he's got to do right now. He's got to land the big one. You got to do something to stand out in this 3rd round. I just don't know how the judges scored those first 2 rounds, Ron. I mean, they were very close.
Very close. I mean, as we were talking about with the stats, that they proved that.
That was a nice left hand from Richie Miranda. We need to see a lot more of that. He's doing these shape-shifting combinations where he's punching forward into stance changes, and that's why we call them shape-shifting combinations. You're punching forward while changing stances, and when you're changing stances coming forward like that, it's loading up the power on each of the opposite sides.
45 seconds to go, 3rd round. Both these fighters firing away.
That double jab cross has been money for Richie Miranda. He's got to keep Agnew on his heels, and Agnew, he's got to get that teep going. You want to keep Richie off of you, you got to use that long teep kick, stab it in his belly, and when he tries to come back forward, you can catch him with that counter punch coming in. He's doing a good job using his range this entire fight.
15 seconds left. Agnew catches Miranda coming in, and Miranda fires back.
Richie's still trying to lay the pressure on. Agnew with a nice little slapping right hook to close out the fight. What an impressive performance from both of these guys.
I agree. I got to give Keegan Agnew a lot of respect in his LFA debut. I know all about Richie Miranda and his 6th appearance here, and we know how tough he is. But Keegan Agnew showed me something tonight.
Oh, dude, Keegan Agnew is world-class, man. Don't let the ponytail and the mushroom shorts fool you. This guy can fight. And look at that sequence where they both traded right hands and then countered each other with the left hook. Reminded me of Dan Hardy versus Carlos Condit.
Oh, nice.
You know, and these guys just threw down to the final bell. It was just a brilliant display of mixed martial arts. Both of these guys just so elite. A lot of momentum changes in this fight. Yeah. Richie doing a good job pressuring, coming forward with those shape-shifting combinations, changing stances, doubling up on the power shots. And Agnew doing a good job landing the good single shots. Every strike had a lot of intent, and he landed often. There just wasn't a lot of volume, but he doesn't have to use volume if he lands as often as he does when he throws. So it was just a tale of 2 styles, and we'll see whose style prevailed in this fight tonight.
So Richie Miranda lost to our current champion, Keegan Genrick, by way of split decision. Could he lose to another Keegan that way as well? We will find out as we check out the Bet Online fight stats. I mean, Michael, this is as even as it gets. The accuracy goes to Richie Miranda. Takedowns landing 2 of 3, and the ground control was all Miranda. But Agnew did some damage with his strikes.
Yeah, he did some big damage with his strikes. I mean, like I said, everything he throws has intent. You know, he does a good job using his length, using his body, and he really did a good job fighting Richie in his wheelhouse. We don't see many guys escape Richie's back control.
Right.
We don't really see many people be able to defend the takedowns of Richie Miranda and defend that type of pressure. Keegan was able to match it. This is a very competitive fight. It's gonna be a close one, Ron.
Let's see how the judges scored it and get the official decision from Mike Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. And the judges scored this bout 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Richie El Machete Miranda.
What a fight.
Winner of 8 of 9 fights, Richie Miranda. Now an impressive 8-1. He wants the UFC next, but I guarantee he will take a rematch with current LFA lightweight champion Keegan Genrich next too. There he is with head coach Ben Jones. And Michael, do you agree with that decision?
I do. You know, he had a beat on the numbers, and I think the volume striking, I think that played a big role in the fight, putting 2, 3, 4 punches together.
Yeah.
And the pressure. I think the pressure is key. You know, when you can get your opponent on their heels, even if they're landing, but you're landing with pressure, I think that stands out to the judges. But I would love to see Keegan Agnew back in here inside the LFA octagon, man. I think that kid,
100%.
he could win a lot of fights here. He's very skilled. He's very interesting.
Yeah.
He's a different
guy.
He brings a different type of flavor to the spotlight, and I think that, you know, there is some. He just belongs here.
Richie Miranda using a very interesting cell phone to try to hit up Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard.
Shout out to Diamond MMA, best
There you
cups in
go.
MMA.
Richie Miranda victorious in the co-main event. Well, we have reached the marquee fight of the night, the new